Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at Tesla. Yesterday we talked about maybe continuing a nice day hourly EQ with the resistance at 253.53, and we had hoped to see that we get a pullback and a new higher low. But you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want to, and you have to be ready for those moves. That's why we mark out these key levels. So as soon as they break, we know what to do. 253 broke probably a couple hours, if that, after my video, and then we know that that daily EQ is not so much an EQ rather than it's a continuation of these higher lows. We broke over 253.53, mediocre resistance at 254.42, ultimately breaking, back testing that level as support, a quick flush early this morning, holding this area of support at 253.53, and ultimately we bucked up right against our resistance 258.35 with a high day at 258.31. Where did that resistance come from? Way back here, 258.35. So that is going to be a very, very key resistance for us moving forward. Let's go back to the hourly time frame. Let's get rid of a couple of these levels because they don't matter so much for us anymore. That EQ is, well, it wasn't really an EQ, but it's over. Now we're all about 258.31 and this hourly trend. So what we're looking for is going to be a support. We need to see a new lower high over 251.51. We can see the the bears bring the price all the way down and set a higher low. As long as we maintain a level over that, things are going to be okay for the bulls. Look for continuation with a break of 258.31. Our next resistance is going to be up here, right about 274.81. So pretty substantial move and not a lot of resistance in the way on the daily time frame. And should we break bear, well, that has a little bit of a similar story. No daily support until we get back down here at the low of 227.28. There is 4-hour support, however, multiple areas of pullback where we can establish support levels, and we're going to look for an overall trend change on the 4-hour should we lose 251.51, and then our next support 247.93. So exciting day for the bulls. We'll see what the market is going to do. Lots of tech names showing weakness in after hours right now. How that will impact the overall market and other names like Tesla remains to be seen, but we do have that major area of resistance 258.35, and we are overdue for some daily consolidation with Tesla's RSI at 72.14. So still in control for the bulls overall, but daily consolidation is needed. Watch those hourly 4-hour time frames to see when that may occur, and check your support levels that we talked about for those areas of higher lows and possible long-term entry opportunities. That's it for today. Thank you. Hey guys, Jason for TheChartGuys, taking a look at Amazon. Yesterday's video was all about the range of 2026 and 2011, and we were looking for us to break one of those key levels, and the first one that breaks often gives you direction because it acts as an area of support. Often the next day when you're looking at the previous day's high and lows, those are going to be pretty key levels for us, so we need to be paying attention to them, and today's action definitely did that. We knocked out the $2001 and 22-cent support, and then we just obliterated 1995, so I got to remove that. And what we're going to be looking for, because it's a Maribuzo close, we're going to be looking at the very least to close this gap and likely seeing some downside continuation tomorrow. No support on the daily time frame until we get down here at $1,906.63. So considerable area for the bears to operate inside of. We'll take a look at what happens there. But on the 5-minute time frame, I want to take and examine exactly what happened when we broke that level. So here's our opening range. We get an open inside pretty much the range, and we see an immediate break. We see a back test, former support acting as resistance once, twice, 3 times. We peek over without commitment, get back under, peek over again without commitment, setting a lower high. We get underneath again. 2001 becomes a resistance over and over and over again, a new lower high, and finally a dump. So this is considerable weakness. When you get an area with a confined range, and you see a low a day from the previous day acting as a support resistance. So in this case, fails as support, but acts as resistance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That is a real good signal that you should expect a pullback because you should have strength. And if you don't have strength, you have the opposite of strength, and that is, of course, weakness. And we see the bears capitalizing on that, and that action is continuing into after hours. So the one thing I do want to point out is that these areas, like just because we flushed to 2001-22, you should not be basing all of your decisions on whether or not you break that by a single penny. If you're looking at EQs and people are playing tick by tick, maybe. But right now, you just need to focus on areas of support. Here we are. We get a few cents higher. We get a few cents higher or lower here. So we already broken that support, but we're seeing consistent bouncing around the area of this nice supporting line. So don't fixate on the decimal point. Don't fixate exactly on a single value. You want to be looking at this area of support. There's a zone of support and resistance here that you need to focus on. And when it's clear that that is no longer functioning as a support, it's going to flip and become resistance. And we see that happening here multiple times on Amazon. So that's today's lesson. Watch for those former supports acting as resistance. Recognize the weakness when you get a breakout. Here we are. We finally get over. We see a shooting star candlestick. We see red confirmation. Another shooting star candlestick. Red confirmation. And it's just weakness overall. So I hope this helps you guys. And we'll take a look and see if we get some good continuation to the downside tomorrow with Amazon. SPY and after hours currently showing a lot of weakness with Netflix dragging a lot of names down. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, and I do appreciate you guys watching the videos and comments and all that jazz. If you want to learn technical analysis, I really encourage you to pick up some books or just Google around. It's a lot of fun, and you can make well, I don't want to say you can make a lot of money. You can, but you can really protect your money, and that's really what a lot of trading and technical analysis is all about. Capital management, recognizing trade opportunities, and protecting the capital that you work so hard to get. That's it. Have a good night, guys. Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at Apple. Relatively weak day today. We saw a little bit of a move by the bulls, but that was almost immediately given back. And we technically closed underneath our trend line. This is not a solid trend line. I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell based solely on this action. What we want to see is substantial action outside the confines of this range. Today's candle for me does not signify that. We need to open considerably lower, get a little bit of a bounce, and then I would be looking for a short opportunity should that arise. But overall, you saw a bearish day after following an indecision candlestick when we should have expected a nice move to the upside to stay inside this trend. So a lot of weakness in Apple right now, and we did break low of day yesterday, support 203.50, and we have a Marabuzzo close, which is a bearish continuation candlestick on the daily time frame. So daily support does not exist until 201.71, and then the next daily support 198.41. Let's go check out the 4-hour time frame, see what we're looking at here. Here is this 206.11, and here's our 4-hour low. We get a lower high, and we get a 4-hour trend change confirmed, 201.52. There's our next support level on the 4-hour. Let's jump to the 15-minute time frame, take a look at what happened here. We get a new high over 205.09. That's our high day rather, and then we see that sell-off accelerate and currently continuing into after hours. So if this continues into pre-market tomorrow morning, that will take us well below that trend line, giving us that area for a bounce because our 50-minute RSI is at 23, our hourly is edging on oversold, looking for that oversold bounce, back test of former support as a resistance, and then looking for downside continuation. So we've talked about some key levels. We'll look at those tomorrow as well once we get a sense of direction and commitment to this trend break, and we'll see what the action is if we try to re-enter that overall daily uptrend and those trend lines, former support potentially acting as a resistance on a pullback test. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope you're having fun learning technical analysis.